When we first started homesteading, I thought I had the hard job, milking the cow, taking care of the chickens, but I've learned my lesson. I have come to see how hard a homestead wife has to work. Shelli is a really awesome cook, but she actually hates to cook. She would much rather be outside, be in the garden, doing stuff like that. So 2 Christmases ago, I decided to just totally break the Christmas gift budget and get her several things that would make her life easier in the kitchen. A few of those things are on this list, so you were probably expecting Shelli to be doing this video. She's gone for the evening, so I decided to go ahead and do this without her, and then I'm gonna have her come on and give her opinion on the parts that I did and put that at the end of the video here. Now, this list is not in any particular order, but I am saving the best for last. The first thing on the list is the chef's knife. This may seem very simple, but it has totally revolutionized Shelli's work in the kitchen. Things like cutting up squash and just onions, any kind of vegetables like that, so much easier with a big knife that you can put some weight on top of, and that's nice and sharp and can really cut through stuff. This one here is the Zwilling J.A. Henkel's knife. I would highly recommend it. Shelli said that it actually cuts her time in half in the kitchen. See what I did there? One of the things that I got for Shelli was an Instant Pot. She absolutely loves it. I'm not gonna pretend to know how to use it or all the cool things you can do with it. I know that one thing that she wants to do with it is make yogurt. She hasn't got that far with it yet, but she does use it to make bone broth. It takes so long in the crock pot, it's like 12 hours, and it makes the house stink. And I never would like when she'd make bone broth with that thing. But this way, the smell stays inside, and it only takes like 2 hours to make really, really good bone broth. The other thing that she does with it is she makes rice, she makes beans, and this has definitely become one of her favorites in the kitchen. And we have our Immersion Blender. It's a KitchenAid Immersion Blender. It is the absolute best way to make chocolate milk. Shelli also likes to make homemade mayonnaise with it. Super easy. She just uses an egg, a cup of olive oil, 2 teaspoons of vinegar, and a teaspoon of salt. And you can just put that in the jar and use the immersion blender, stick it down in there and hold it all the way down to the bottom, turn it on, makes beautiful mayonnaise, and then you can season it however you want it. I often use it for chocolate milk. Children love my chocolate milk. I love my chocolate milk. Sometimes I think I love it a little too much. And then all that there is to wash is just the bottom part of that immersion blender there. No getting a big blender messy and all kinds of other stuff out and whatever. We've had a milk cow for something like 5 years now. We finally just recently got an actual milk filter. So what we had been doing was using a funnel with a paper filter and a canning funnel stuck on top of that, stuck in the milk jug, and then we pour the milk through. I have a friend that owns Shenandoah Homestead Supply, and he saw the video I did about milking our cow where I showed how we did that. He sent me an email and he said he wants to send me an actual milk filter and that I should try it out. We absolutely love this thing. It is so simple. All it is like a big funnel. You set the paper filter in there, and then you take this stainless steel ring and stick it down in there and push the filter down. And right there you go. That is held into place. Goes right on here, and you pour the milk through. And the cool thing is that when you're pouring it through, you can just pour a bunch of milk in there and let it drain. You've got time to get your next jugs ready or anything like that. With our other one, we had to stand here and pour it through. It is really high quality and it is really inexpensive. I don't know why we didn't get something like this before now. We've got it and we love it. I'm gonna put a link for it in the description below, along with links for as many of the other things as I can. And actually, he's gonna give me a coupon code to give you guys, so don't miss out on that too. It's time for Adventures Off the Homestead. Beautiful afternoon, and we are out on a bike ride. We're gonna find some geocaches too. Hi, Cade. Hi, Izzy.
Hi.
Hi, Tirza. Find the geocache, Izzy?
Yep.
Looks like it's good. All right, let's go find the next one. What do you think, Eden? Hi. Woohoo! See what you can find, guys. It's a really cool bridge. What'd you find, Izzy?
A geocache?
While we're over here doing stuff with the milk anyways, I want to tell you about the next thing on our list, and that is these square plastic milk jugs. Since they're square, they stack together nicely, and that's a big deal when you're getting 20 plus gallons of milk a week. We were very against getting plastic jugs to begin with. We started out with glass. We had a couple mishaps that ended up changing our mind. We switched over to these plastic canisters, and we absolutely love them. Probably when anybody thinks of homesteaders in the kitchen, they think of cast iron. We really love our cast iron, and I know it's kind of cliche to put that on the list, but what most people do when they get a cast iron skillet is get something like this. But I got this one for Shelli because of the low sides, and it makes it so much easier for doing pancakes and eggs and stuff that you flip over, so that instead of trying to get your turner thing down here to be able to flip something over, you can just easily get it in from the side. No problem. Whatever Shelli doesn't use the Immersion Blender for, she uses the Ninja. It does so much. Not only is it awesome for making smoothies and stuff, she also uses it to make her tomato sauces that she cans. Now she's gonna have to expound on that. I know that she really loves it for that, but I don't know exactly all the reasons why. The other thing that she really loves it for is making homemade butter. We have a video where we showed how we do that, so you should definitely check that one out after you watch this one. And speaking of making butter, you'll notice in that video that she uses a flour sack towel to drain the butter. Not only does she use it for butter, cheese making, she also uses it when she makes apple cider. She does that every once in a while. She'll put some apples in the Ninja blender, chop them all up, and then she'll put it in here and she'll drain out the apple cider. One of the things we love the most about having our own cow is having fresh homemade ice cream. When we first got our cow, we got one of those hand crank ice cream makers that you put salt ice into. It was fun, it was nostalgic, it made good ice cream, but it was a lot of work. So one time we were at a thrift store and we found one of these ice cream makers. We brought it home, tried it out, and we were absolutely hooked. It's really simple. All it is a frozen bowl inside of this thing. You keep this bowl in the freezer until you're ready to make ice cream. Set it in here with the paddle, put it on top, and then you just start it. You can just keep that thing going while you're eating your supper, then you've got ice cream ready to go when you're done. This is a Cuisinart one. This one's really popular. We like it pretty good, but we actually like this one better. This one is some kind of old brand. You can't buy them new anymore. I couldn't find them anywhere. We found this one at a thrift store. These just actually work a lot better than what the Cuisinart one does, and the main difference is that in the Cuisinart one, the paddle in there doesn't seem to scrape the sides quite as good as this one does. So if you ever have a chance, if you ever see one of these, make sure you pick one of these up. I know for a fact that this is one of Shelli's favorite things to have in her homestead kitchen. So we've got over 100 eggs coming in every day, and they all have to be hand washed because we sell them at a retail store, and it's the law here in Ohio that they've got to be washed to sell. But this makes it super simple. We used to use a rag would get bunched up. With this glove, it just takes a couple twists on the egg and it's done. And you can really go through an egg basket a whole lot faster than with a rag or with something else. I told you I was saving the best for last, and here it is. The dishwasher. No, seriously, not only does it save tons of time and basically makes so you don't have to hire a maid, it's basically become a symbol of what I've learned since we started this homestead journey. When we first started, I was very idealistic about wanting to go all Laura Ingalls Wilderness style. I didn't even plan to put a dishwasher in our house. I had already built the cabinet boxes. They weren't finished yet, but I had already built them. And Shelli finally convinced me that we should put a dishwasher in here. Thankfully, this spot right here was exactly the right size for a dishwasher, so I cut the cabinet out, put a dishwasher in. Too often we men don't realize how much hard work our wives have to put into this stuff, and it's just not worth sacrificing their health or their sanity for our pride or our idealism. If the world goes nuts and we don't have electricity anymore, we do have the skills we need to do without the convenient things on this list. And I think you should learn those skills too. But if that happened, the expectations around us would change. We need to be wise and do our best, but life isn't always about the worst case scenario. Now let's go see what Shelli thinks about how I did. I have come to see how hard a homestead wife has to work. Shelli is a really awesome cook, but she cuts her time in half in the kitchen. See what I did there? One of the things that
Good one. Okay, the knife thing, so true. I didn't believe it. People kept telling me I need to get myself a chef's knife. It completely changed everything for me, so take his advice.
And you can just put that in the jar.
It looks like you're making mayonnaise and you're actually making chocolate milk.
Makes beautiful mayonnaise. And then you can...
I used to make mayonnaise the hard way. I used to make mayonnaise and like dribble the oil into the blender, and I hated it so bad. This thing is awesome, and you want to be sure to get a really good one, like a KitchenAid, because my mom got an off-brand one and it does not work the same as the KitchenAid.
An actual milk filter that I should try it out.
I'm usually the one who strains the milk, and I'm not kidding you, this thing has cut my milk straining time in half in the morning. I absolutely love it.
Absolutely love this thing. It is so simple. Adventures off the homestead.
I missed this adventure. I was on a trip to see my aunt, so this is fun to see.
We switched over to these plastic canisters and we absolutely love them.
I do recommend glass if you don't have kids, like if it's just adults in your house, and if you don't have like 10 gallons of milk in the fridge at once, glass is awesome. But these square jugs are amazing. It's like a really solid plastic. Like it doesn't seem like so much of a porous plastic that's gonna like retain all kinds of smells and stuff.
Eggs and stuff that you flip over. So
it's the best for omelets. That's actually what I love it the most for, is omelets, because you don't have those sides to contend with when you're flipping it over and taking it off of the pan.
Now she's gonna have to expound on that. I know that she really loves it for that, but I don't know exactly all the reasons why.
So the reason I love this blender so much for my sauces, my tomato sauces, is that so often regular blenders, they don't blend the peels of the tomatoes in very well, and so there's a lot more waste. This blender is high powered enough that when you strain your sauce, you will still get some like seeds and skin and stuff that you have to throw away, but not as much as if you use a blender that's not high powered and doesn't mix this, like cut up the skins as much as this one does.
You ever see one of these? Make sure you pick one of these up. I know.
Be sure that you don't just get the small dinky looking ones, because those will not do near as good as the actual tall ones where you freeze the base and set them in, because some of them are very shabby and you will not be pleased with the ice cream that they made.
The higher made has basically become a symbol of...
I am very proud of this. Because Cody...
I'll explain it. Let me explain.
Okay.
Of what I've learned since we started this homestead journey.
I would say you did a very good job. Very good job.
Okay, she can't just swerve and stop in front of me, guys.